Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. Happy Easter, happy Easter, happy Easter, happy Easter, happy Easter, everyone. It is the Easter time for you Americans out there. Thank you for listening. I have a lot of fans in America, and just want to let you know Happy Easter because I want to be inclusive to Americans who are listening and having Easter bunnies. Lots of news going on in the news.
Lots of news going on in the news. You guys probably don't really follow news like me. I'm basically like a talking head, like a anchor, TV anchor, kind of a talking head, that kind of goes through the news. So I have to keep up with stories, like I don't even like to, but I just have to keep track. So just letting you guys know there's stuff going on. Lots of stuff in the news this week. Some news are going on. I know it's probably your Easter. You're celebrating Easter. Maybe you didn't keep track of the news this week. Well, we got the stories for you guys to check out. Let's see. We got White House axes pressed to downplay leak of U.S. dirt on allies. I think this has to do with the Ukraine thing. So apparently there's been classified leaks of classified records about Ukraine, Israel, South Korea, and other countries, and there may be more coming out as a result of the nightmare U.S. cybersecurity debacle. This kind of sound, right now, this music is like Star Wars. I don't know why it went into that, but I mean, I've kind of heard about this, but not really. I saw a Ukraine thing about Ukraine stuff leaked about their, like, that they were gonna come up with Ukraine, or I don't even really follow it. But this is interesting that there was a cybersecurity debacle. Now, I didn't know, like, once you see the word debacle, you know it's serious, because you may think it's just like a little like you might think it's a little like minor misstep, or blunder. What other words are like? What are other words? Like debacle. That's what I want to know. Kind of means the same thing as a. You might think. Is this a fiasco? Is this a disaster? No, it's a debacle this time. It's a nightmare too. Not only is it a debacle, it's what someone call a nightmare. You guys might have nightmares about night terrors, like you see demons. You might have nightmares about Freddy Krueger, or a murderer or something. Well, some people have nightmares about classified docs leaking. Now, if you're like a government important person, that's what you not have nightmares about. Or if you're a grown-up adult, you have nightmares about going to your job and you're late, or like you show up to a meeting and you don't know anything, or you have nightmares about going to school and I forgot I had this class. I guess I'm gonna fail the class. I've had like nightmares. I guess I don't even know if I would call those nightmares. They're just like stupid stress dreams, But I've had those about just like, oh shit, it's like the last month of, or like there's only a couple weeks left in the semester, and I just like forgot I had a class, and and I like go in the class and I like try to talk to the teacher about somehow making up all that work I missed, And I don't really ever have an end to those ones. Like, I don't really get a notice. I don't know if I'm going to completely fail or he's going to give me some kind of assignment that I could probably just pass the class, you know? Like, I don't think there's any way to ace a class if you missed most of it, but you know what? Just send me emails and let me know. By the way, guys, I did just do a podcast called the Dead Jester Productions or something, and that should be coming out like this week. It's kind of a random thing. It's not like I put a post out about. I want to kind of talk about if anyone had any fallout about Wilk stuff, and he messaged me. It's not like he found my podcast and was a fan or something. I mean, if you are and you're listening, let me know. But yeah, we talked about like, I don't know, podcasting, and he was like, "Oh, doing a solo podcast is pretty stressful sounding to me because." And they are like, I mean, it's technically more work, I guess, because I'm like doing all the talking, but to me, it's way easier. Even though like this time, I thought I was gonna do a guest one today, but I decided to move that till next time. But yeah, I didn't really write stuff down this week, so like I am a little bit like, oh fuck. But listen, when you are a guy that I just kind of fucking, I'm a performance artist, like you show me. You give me a chance, and I'll fill it. You give me a hole, I'll fill it with a podcast. The podcast, like show me a hole, I'll get it ready to go, if you know what I mean, and I'll stick it in the hole. And you know who had a, who shot. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a terrible metaphor, pun or something. Well, somebody who doesn't really, shoot the shot or they shoot blanks is the U.S. government, and they got all ready and they got it all lubed up or whatever, and then, well, next sec, you didn't, you went too quick or something. It's like, it didn't go well. She left. She was upset. And that's what happened with their national security documents, because I guess this is official, because it's New York Times, and they're never wrong. They revealed on Friday. Oh, this is the one I saw. Because the Pentagon announced that it's investigating photos that exposed classified plans for a spring military offensive by Ukrainian forces. So that's not good, because Russia now probably has that. I don't know how they got it, but now somehow, like, this is the thing, like, the more we use the internet, there's data breaches all the time. Like, there's no way to stop, like, I don't think there's much to do about it, except they keep trying to make, like, you have stronger passwords now, which fucking sucks. Like, my browser, like, at least can save those passwords, but I try to save them all somewhere, and it's just like a pain in the ass now. It's like, all right, now we need a password that's 20 digits long. Like, it used to be like you could put anything as a password. You could just have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could have 1, 2, 3 as a password, maybe, back in the day. But now it's like, hey, we're going to need you to go ahead and 15 and make sure it's an uppercase, a lowercase, and then a number, and then a punctuation, and then and it's like no one can possibly remember that. So I have to save them all in a folder. Maybe I shouldn't, I always am like, what? I don't know. Because that folder is on a cloud, and that's password protected. What if somebody hacks that? Then they get all my passwords. But what am I going to do? Because there's too many to remember now. Like, what do you want me to write on a pencil and paper? Like, but I would always have to have my wallet, but it would be like so long because there's so many passwords you need now. I mean, a lot of people do use the same. I used to use the same password everywhere, and maybe like sometimes switch it up, add like a letter or something. But yeah, you can't. It's just like I realized I can't do that anymore. So now I try to make them like all new, but I save them at least, so I'll have, because you know. And my job, like my work, makes me do new passwords like every, I don't know, a couple months. It's ridiculous. Like, so now I just do random. I don't memorize them anymore, and I just like have to look it up every fucking time I log into work. So, anyway, so yeah, I'm not surprised anymore about these data breaches all the time. Now the U.S. government, I guess I didn't expect people to just be able to get classified secrets like that. Leaked intel documents. I didn't really expect that, but I don't know if you guys remember this. If you guys follow UFO community, but there was this British guy who I think was on the spectrum or something. Well, he was a smart guy. I only know that because he said it in an interview. But he managed to just get into like government documents and look up like UFO supposed secrets. Gary McKinnon, if you want to look that up, guys. Oh, he's a Scottish system administrator, supposedly. He doesn't look 57. I guess he looks pretty good. He, in 2002, he's a quote-unquote hacker. He's a quote-unquote hacker who exposed NASA. Oh, he got into NASA, guys. He got into supposed secret NASA UFO files. And he said it was like there was no security almost at all. He said it was way too easy to get in. And I think that's one reason they really went after him. I think he had to flee the country, like how Edward Snowden had to do. Gary McKinnon. You know what? I'm sick of just having videos on websites now. Every time I want to look something up, I have to watch a video. What if I don't feel like it? What if I just want to read it on a podcast? Now you guys don't have to believe this guy, but I kind of do, because now I look, a lot of people talk about the deep. I only know state. I do think there's meaning. People don't really specify what they mean by the deep state. But I include the CIA and FBI as part of the deep state, or the deep state. I don't know. And there's probably other deeper stater. Maybe, but I do include, that's what I think of. So there is definitely a deep state if like me, you include the FBI and CIA. We all know those are real. I mean, a lot of like, look at the Congress people, and the people in the Senate, and the people in the fucking House, okay?
Are these hello? Are these the people you want to represent everybody? Is these guys? Like, are you fucking kidding me, people? Get the fuck out of here with that. These are the people you want to represent you as the man, okay? Okay? Well, I say no thank you, sir.
But, you know, the Senate and the House, all these people seem stupid, like, and slow to catch up with anything. I mean, they probably still don't understand what TikTok is. Like, they're trying to ban TikTok. And I really was against, well, I just don't like I don't like TikTok because it messes people's brain. I think it makes people stupid. And yeah, China is spying on us. Like, we already knew this. People are fine with it. I'm not bored at all, but they're trying to ban it, but then it's gonna affect everything. So I'm against the ban proposal they had. From what I saw of it, even though like it's but this kind of stuff like will never be stopped. I mean, people want to be stupid, or people want to be like, I want to watch something that's like half a second long because it's like I don't know what it does technically. Like how does it get so addictive? Like how our phones like make us so addicted? What is it about the properties of what is in there? How do they calculate it to make our dopamine go up? But you just literally like, even on Reddit, sometimes I can't stop scrolling, and I'm like, I gotta stop. So on TikTok, I imagine I'd be real bad with it. So that's why I'm against. But anyway, so they don't even understand what like anything. They probably just now realize what Twitter is. So like these people, like, and like I don't know, on NASA, I can kind of believe that they were like stupid enough to have not great security. It's not like they had no security, but like surprisingly, like not that hard to hack into it. I can believe that. I mean, look, there's something like, I just watched this documentary on Netflix about the Malaysian flight that went missing, and they said there's like something where like anybody could have went down in the cabin or something and done something to the flight, like turned something off. Like there wasn't like really a locked area. Like anybody, if they knew about it, could have went there or something like that. I don't know if that's on every plane, but that was pretty crazy. I think just a lot of people kind of just are dumb. I don't know. Like all these Congress people, like they're just in it for like pleasing their people that paid for their campaigns, and they're like just kind of stupid. I mean, they get bills, they look at the bills. Their day isn't going online and researching and deep diving into stuff. So, well, I don't know. NASA is a little different, but like this guy was a smart hacker guy. Yeah, he got in. You don't have to believe his story, but that makes me less surprised about this now new classified leak. But it is really fucking stupid. If we're in the government, like, you should have really top-notch security, like, above anything else. I mean, they definitely have crazy background checks to get into government positions. I don't know about Congress and the Senate, but anything with, like, government secrets, like, even a job I had before that was, like, we had a project for Lockheed Martin. I didn't even work on the project, but we all had to go through this ridiculous background check, and like my family and like some friends, anybody I listed, or maybe people I didn't even, you had to put references on. They all got something in the mail about like crazy character traits about me. Like, would you say Brian is trustworthy? Like, can he be trusted with? And it was pretty crazy. And then I had to go in a police station and get fingerprinted and like all this shit that I didn't even work on it. But and even if I did, it was like everyone had to do it, even like contractors on the project. Like, I don't know, it's just ridiculous. But so you'd think we'd have better security than letting leaks happen. Anyway, this Gary McKinnon guy, if you're curious, he found some document that said like off-world personnel, meaning like, I don't know, possibly alien personnel listed. He did find evidence of free energy, anti-gravity. Oh, and the conspiracy of NASA scrubbing images of anomalies, which is another conspiracy if you want to go down that rabbit hole. There's a whole thing about NASA always had somebody like basically photoshopping out UFOs of their pictures and anything else. Any kind of anomalous activity, they would Photoshop it out. Of like really high res, even back then, like super high res stuff. And that's a pretty interesting conspiracy. Like, there's videos of people that said they used to work at NASA talking about what they did doing that. So, that's another rabbit hole to go down. You guys ever hear of rabbit holes going down holes? You know what I like to do when I'm like, sometimes I'll just
go on these like rabbit holes. Like how you go down rabbit holes or whatever online, like, oh my god, like there's so much stuff online. It's like go down one rabbit hole, end up out of another, It's crazy the stuff you could find online, Yeah, should I make this a weekend like this site, weekendweird.com? Could I make this? I could have went in that route and made this podcast a paranormal exploration and research podcast and just went into that direction. Strange phenomena, ghosts and hauntings. Weird news. Well, I guess I kind of do that sometimes, but
not really. I don't have a weird segment. I just kind of do whatever stories I see. It's usually not. Anyway. This is interesting, though. I don't really know why. I almost feel like I'm so conspiracy-oriented now. Like, everything is so fucking stupid now that I'm just like... It's almost like I hope there's conspiracies because it's so dumb that we let this shit leak. I'm like, I hope this was on purpose. I hope it was evil. I guess there was a leak. A new batch of documents. Sorry, guys. I know. I forgot the music. Sorry, guys. I know you're pissed off about that. New batch of documents surfaced on the message board 4chan, Twitter, Telegram, and other websites Friday afternoon. Neutral materials included secret briefing slides on China, the Middle Eastern terrorism. More material related to Russia's invasion of Ukraine appeared on social media since Friday. This is interesting, though. More than 100 documents got out. And somebody said these documents are potentially the tip of the iceberg. This reminds me of WikiLeaks, actually. Remember they were constantly doing that around 2016, like, wait, guys, another treasure trove of documents is coming out. Get ready. Yeah, so I guess that's going on. I don't know, there was nothing else, really. The documents say that Ukraine lost a lot more troops than Russia has. Well, yeah, that's kind of what I would think, but... okay, so this is a new one. I guess they questioned this guy. So he's a White House spokesperson. They usually have that black lady. Maybe she's about to quit. They always quit because it fucking must suck ass to do this job. You're a Big Brother spokesperson. We don't have any more answers, but we don't know. And is that a matter of concern to us? You're darn right it is. Look, without confirming the validity of these documents, this is information that has no business in the public domain. It shouldn't be on the pages of front newspapers on television. It is not intended for public consumption, and it should not be out there. Well, guess what? It is. So, fuck you. We urge all of you to be careful about how you report on this story, because we know, at least in some cases, that information was doctored. Yeah, okay, sure it was. Bullshit. So this makes me think they didn't want it to get out. All the conspiracy nut jobs out there. Him saying that makes me think it wasn't meant to get out, all you conspiracy wackos. Like how they destroyed the Nord Stream pipeline and they were saying, it is not true. You know. I mean, I don't think Biden denied it. Did he? I don't think they really did. I think just that spokesperson guy said, like, no or something like that. Like, oh, it's false. But... you know, you gotta be honest, like, the Pentagon shape is weird. Like, is this a satanic going down Masonic, satanic design. It's weird. Pentagon. Yeah, because it's called the Pentagon, idiot. Yes, I forgot. That must be why it's called the Pentagon, because it's a pentagon shape, guys. But yeah, why isn't like that? Why is everything designed in a certain weird pattern? Like the what's that one airport that stays in like a Nazi symbol? Anyway, some other great news, guys. In case you were wondering, yes, and you had any bets going, yes, there was another shooting today or yesterday. I don't know, Easter. You wanted to wait till the Lord rose again to do what he did, Louisville bank shooter, Connor Sturgeon. You know what, guys? They showed his picture. Why? Because he's a white guy. That's why. I mean, I guess I don't know. I guess it also has when it isn't a white guy, but they put his name, they put everything on there. And this is interesting. The shooter was a star athlete who suffered so many concussions he had to wear a helmet for basketball, which is pretty crazy. Now, what is going on with that CTE shit? Like, what's his name? Aaron Hernandez went gay because of it. No, I don't know if that's why, but he like in the clips I saw, like in the Netflix documentaries about Aaron Hernandez, like he does come off a little like gay, but so what? You have to kill people because you don't want people to know what you can clearly see. Ugh. I don't get this shit, man. I just don't get it. Like, I almost wish we went back to serial killers. At least then it was like one a day. It would be like one killing a day, and then you'd be like, well, hopefully they don't find someone else. Like, but this shooting is like, I guess in a way it's over instantly. So it's not like anyone's like, I hope I don't get caught, or I hope I'm not the next victim, because. And this is obviously why there's no serial killers. We have DNA. It's easier to catch people. But these shooters go out in a blaze of glorious plan, like longer, I think, maybe. I don't know. I mean, it does seem like the shooter amount of people that are shooters is going up. Like, I don't know if that correlates with the amount of serial killers there used to be. You know, like, I just don't know.
There's a serial killers, folks. Like, what's going on with PSYOP? What's going on with this fucking PSYOP? That we have.
But yeah, I mean, so what? I don't know. What would people? I guess. I don't know what I would prefer. I guess like maybe there's more victims with these shooters, so maybe it would be better to go back to the serial unalivers. He live streamed his attack on Instagram. Wow. All right, there has to be something done about. People always go to gun control, but we got to do something with the CTE thing. I mean. Now, I'm not like, I don't understand how people are only black and white about the gun issue. Like, yeah, why can't we have mental health? It's mental health. I don't care what people keep saying it's not mental health. What are you talking about? You want to call everybody neurodiverse now. Was this a neurodiverse shooter? Gunman? Unaliver? I don't know. I guess the algorithm's never going to promote me because I never remember to censor all these keywords that people do, but, I also hate it, but, if I knew it would really make a difference, I guess I would do it, but everybody's, like, kind of done with YouTube. A lot of people have to move over there anyway, so why bother? Yeah, I guess he seemed totally normal. This guy, I don't know, man. How many victims, dude? Killing 4 people. Okay. Unaliving 4 people, injuring 8 others. I have to say, something is getting not as bad about these. Like, there's always less victims now, and there's a lot of injuries. I was just talking like yesterday over the weekend about the Las Vegas guy was the craziest one. That was the weirdest. I mean, that guy had just like it was so mysterious. It was like Stephen Paddock, and it was like, oh, his brother said, like, I don't know, it was just so weird. It just seemed like he had programming to do that. Or I don't know. That really did seem like a. I'm not saying every one of these guys is a, where's the serial MK,
Ultra, mind control, plant. But Stephen Paddock definitely comes off that way. Now, he did sound weird from what
people said. He did sound like a weird guy, but he looks. I gotta. You know what? Maybe this is CTE because even this picture, I'm like, he looks like like I don't get the vibes that I normally get off others. Like Stephen Paddock did look fucking crazy, but this guy looks like a young guy. I don't know. It's just horrible. I don't know. It doesn't even say he was disgruntled or anything. Just did it. Just had CTE. I still don't understand how that would cause you to go homicidal, like Chris Benoit type of thing. I don't know, man. But that's a big thing people should look. We need to figure that out. I mean, yeah, this guy looks fucking weird. He just looks fucking. Look at this guy, He was angry at casinos. Why? MK Ultra, man. It's no joke. MK Ultra dope. He was angry at casinos. He didn't like it, so he decided to be a fucking crazy bitch. Why did I get an spam? Spam me so hard, baby. Spam me so hard, dude. He was angry at casinos. Oh, there's new stories about him. That's interesting. Looks like I looked him up at the right time. Oh my God, this is unbelievable. Why do all these people? And it's never, well, now it's becoming more immediate where people say this, but like always, every time somebody goes, yeah, kind of thought he was going to do that. He said he was literally going to do that, but we just thought he was, what? What'd you think? I've never met anyone ever who said that. Look, if you know somebody, like, look, this is a plea to everybody. Anyone listening? If you know somebody, and they're joking about, I'm gonna go on a unaliving rampage, maybe stop them. Maybe fucking really go about stopping them. I don't know. What can you do, though? I mean, you can't abduct and kidnap someone to make them stop. You don't know when it's going to happen. You can call the cops. That does happen. Like, actually, recently, yeah, there was a shooting that did get stopped because they found his manifest. It was a trans person. And it didn't happen, thank God. Thank he who has just risen on Easter Sunday. But, look. God, if you see a guy and he has no eyebrows, did I talk about this before? I'm sorry if I've fucking done this already. When did it happen, though? Did I have my podcast? I always worry about repeating myself and doing the same exact, like, comments. Oh, 2017? Never mind. I didn't even have no podcast. I was a little boy back then. That was 2017. Feels like a lifetime ago, dude. So he had if somebody has no eyebrows like this, just abduct them so they never lock them in an underground cellar and don't ever let them to come out again. I hate country music and I'm going to fucking I hate gambling. Like what? Why did he do it? Oh, don't get him started on gambling, man. He hated it, taking advantage of people. He decided instead of people being like taken advantage of and out of money, like he's just gonna get rid of them, you know. So he had who's Nixon? Is this a friend? Hold on. God, look, I can't read, guys. I rely on someone to whisper in my headphones, and I have an earpiece in, and they read it to me. That's why I jump all over the place. I'm like that psychic guy who got caught with the earpiece in the, crowd. Jim Nixon, he had an ex-convict friend, so that's already a red flag there, guys.
Red flag much? You know? Red flag much? Are you supposed to tell me this guy had an ex-convict friend, and the ex-convict told him, hey, don't go unaliving everybody, don't go on a rampage? Are you telling me he had an ex-convict friend? And that you gotta be kidding me, folks. Come on. Jim Nixon, Paddock's friend and Vietnam War veteran who served time for tax fraud. Oh, okay, so I don't blame anybody for going to jail for tax fraud. I mean, he pleaded with Paddock not to go out hurting people who did nothing to you. I can get someone for you who can help you, he wrote on 2017. So this is close to the big event, you know. I'm concerned about the way you're talking and believe you are going to do something very bad. Steve, please don't do what I think you're about to do. How can you tell that? It's crazy.
I can just tell you're about to do this. He must be saying he's going to do it then. Because how could you hint at something like this? My friend, it sounds like you were about to kill or off someone or some people. Please, whatever it is, I would like to talk to you about it, and we can get. Please don't go on any shooting rampage like some fool. Oh my God. So in 2014, he wrote, you said in 3 years you would be ready, and your plan would show up in Nevada, California, Illinois, Texas, New York, and other cities. Wow. Well, good thing you only did it in Las Vegas. He followed that message with a letter dated March 2, 2017, when he wrote, you must be going on a hunting trip with all those guns you were stockpiling. So he wrote them for like 4 years. And he told him to not do it. I don't know how many times, but it's fucking ridiculous. Oh my God. You know, and the cops in this case, like whoever would be on TV about this, they seem like stupid. They seem like they were almost purposely not doing anything right. Because, like, look at this. Nixon told them that law enforcement had never contacted him after what happened. He did what he did, and I feel bad I couldn't have stopped him. I didn't know he was going to do what he did, even though he did know, because he wrote him. The two became friends near a decade before the shooting and used to go fishing together. Still no definitive motive. A fellow gambler told that Paddock was very upset at the way casinos were treating him and other high rollers. So he was maybe a gambling addict, and he was mad at the casinos because personally, this wasn't I'm mad about gambling. This sounds like just personal. How dare you not let me win every time? So he was nuts. He was banned from 3 casinos he frequented in Reno, Nevada. And Nixon in 2017 appeared to show Paddock's escalating tension and desire for some sort of revenge. You are a good person, and I want you to know that I am concerned about you and your well-being. I believe you are lying to me, and you are going to hurt someone or kill someone. You sound like a real madman on the phone tonight. Remember, you have to answer to God Almighty for your earthly crimes. Ugh. Yeah, even this is this is Fox News, I guess, but this is pretty much normal people on this site, so they are getting suspicious. Something doesn't seem right, somebody said. Why didn't he know the authorities? I know he was convicted of tax issues. We seem to be missing a piece of the puzzle here. The FBI is pretty good in investigating mass shootings, but I don't know. This is really just something else is happening here with this guy. The FBI and the law enforcement in Las Vegas has covered up so much of this tragedy, somebody commented. Yep. Watch the documentary 11 Minutes on Power Muscle. Okay, I may watch that. Unless I did. I don't think I did. Somebody thinks the letters are fake. The official narrative is glowing like the heart of the sun. I just figured out what that glow... If somebody glows, they mean they're an FBI informant. I just found that out recently. You're a glowy. How did letters written in 2017 get into a building that Stephen Paddock sold in 2012? Wow. This is fucking crazy. And we never contacted him. It's fine. He carried up a ton of weapons in the freight elevator with staff support. He rented 2 rooms and was there for 2 weeks. Well, I know that he was like like the article said, a high roller in the casino. And he, spent tons of money. He must have lost a lot, and that's why he did this. Why would you just shoot people at a country festival? Because people thought he hated country music or something? Like, it just, like, if that was the theory, he would have... Actually, maybe, now that I'm thinking about it, casinos have a lot of security. I guess because of the money in there. They always do have a lot of security. That must be why he did that. But I just don't... Maybe he wanted to do it in a casino, and that's what he couldn't. I don't really understand. Like, I honestly don't get why we have the FBI and CIA. It seems like they do nothing but suspicious shit or set up somebody to I mean, if you do look into the Governor Whitmer kidnapping, they literally did make that happen. I mean, it's crazy. And the FBI or CIA, I forget, was all like basically set up for blackmail reasons. If you really do the research. I mean, this is weird. I don't know if it was a left-wing attack, somebody said. Wow. Somebody said, I was there that night. Cab dropped us off at that casino. And we were headed to the concert, but decided to get some White Castle burgers first. The best decision I ever made. Wow. Oh my God. Imagine going to that shit concert, like Jason Aldean or whatever his name was. Like, you're going to see like a concert, like, ugh. Actually, I guess no concert would be worth that, but I don't know. I do like hate casino. I just don't get the appeal of gambling. I mean, I just really don't get it. Like, if I did do it in one, I would just like stop right away. I really just don't get the if there was no stakes, then I would just... Obviously, that's why it's... Yeah, I don't know. I don't get why people don't... I mean, I guess people win lots of money if people get good at it somehow. I don't know. But, so this guy was a high roller, and the casinos basically helped him do whatever because he made a lot of money for them. Even if he lost, especially if he lost. They probably really liked him, so... and I guess that one didn't kick him out, so... I mean, like, this is years later, and they're just now saying that this friend of his sent him letters, so. Look, guys, I mean, I'm doing this research. You guys, I hope you appreciate that. Yeah, this is the brother of him. Brother was weird, too, if you watch the videos with him. So this just came out. Handwritten letters of an ex-convict friend that was in Vietnam. See, it would make more sense if Steven was the shooter himself was a Vietnam vet and he had like crazy PTSD or something. He was angry at casinos. Oh, this is the vault.fbi.gov. And there's, look at this. All there is a Stephen Paddock Part 1 and Part 2 PDF. That's it. That's all that's on here about him. Oh, it's like I guess it's long. Kind of. All blacked out. Look. Why even bother with this fucking bullshit? Everything gets redacted all the time. Why even pretend that we can look at these? There's like an awful not a lot of info about this guy. I mean, I'm glad they don't really do. Remember after Columbine, like there was a couple movies about it. Like, I know they were controversial, but I'm glad we don't really do that anymore. About like, oh, somebody did a shooting. Now we're gonna like do a real life like reenactment, like a movie about it, like from his perspective, like they did with the Dahmer series. I mean, maybe one day they would, but. Okay, this is 2 weeks ago. Apparently, a body language expert said something was not right with Paddock. He was rocking back and forth outside the elevator, which is a significant sign of anxiety countered by forced casual postures inside the elevator to make him seem more relaxed. He also pointed to a facial expression he could only describe as spooky. Oh, God. That center forehead going up, a little bit of a smile. That's a person with low empathy.
Insight into Paddock's behavior. 13 investigates wrote in on two.
Whoops, this
Something was not right with Stephen Paddock.
there's not any one thing that says this guy's a killer or whoops, this is
He
an
just
absolute
looks like one.
kind of behavior. But there are definitely
He noted this rocking back and forth motion Paddock is doing outside the elevator as a significant sign of anxiety,
I don't know about that.
countered by forced casual postures inside the elevator.
showing up a little bit of a mouth smile.
Pointed to a specific facial
Oh,
expression
God.
he could only describe as
Freddy Krueger.
forced.
He was smiling there.
When a
Wow.
person does it often, like in the case the joint investigation concluded. Information has now been made public. Dr. Jack Brown analyzed Stephen Paddock's movements.
It's creepy. All right, here's a Reddit discussion. Oh, this is really long. Yeah, it's not too bad. This guy says, there are some clues. He worked as an accountant and started buying real estate in the 1980s, including several small apartment buildings. And then he brought his brother into the business and made both of them rich. And at one point had over 10 million, or approaching. He also had a habit of playing copious amount of video poker casinos. So he was playing this like shitty video poker at casinos. So he played it enough to get ahead and make a little bit of money. But at some point he seems to have folded almost all his business interests down and liquidated his assets, and all he did was play video poker. But also did recreational travel. He had a girlfriend from Philippines. Of course, every creep does. You rent a girlfriend almost. It's like It's weird. It's just like always suspicious. Oh, I met this girl that doesn't speak English, and she's just, it's totally normal. We're in love for real. They've been long aware of it. Something eventually started to happen. The casino industry tightened up the programs. But the casino industry tightened up in the years running up to the massacre. As more states legalized gambling, it increased competition. So, like the programs that allowed him to enjoy his hobby, not only free but at a slight profit, started to get scaled back. And then he started to suffer the losses. And he was definitely addicted. He should have quit. He gave his girlfriend $100,000 to buy a house in the Philippines. And he got an interest in rifle shooting. Yeah, I think that he bought the guns for that, only to do this stuff. He was a heavy drinker, and one time he fell and injured himself, and he tried to sue, but the case was dismissed. Okay, so he started to lose money instead of getting some. Even though he wasn't ever getting a ton of it, but he was making money. And then he just got addicted, and this guy says, my guess is he had lost so much of his money and didn't want to be alive, and he figured, why not kill a bunch of people with me and hurt their casinos in the process? Oh, and the drinks were free while playing. Yeah, I can see. His girlfriend, I suspect, was mail order. I don't get this. All right, we're back with the Rabbit Hole Rantcast.
Rabbit Hole Rantcast. What are your theories on the reasons why these mass Sers S people?
So I agree with this guy. Generally, this sort of unaliver is a grudge collector. Everything that has ever gone wrong in their life is someone else's fault. And then he thinks everyone has to pay. Now, that's what I think. But, some people are saying he's a to pay or something. It's like, shut up. I look into conspiracy. You know what? We need to stop this whole shit with like, oh, if you look into, I mean, I get what you're saying, but it's the same thing I was talking about last episode with the stochastic, however you say it, terrorism. Oh, if you look into conspiracies and you start listening to Schmalik Schmones, or schminfo.com, you will go out and get a shotgun and go do something. Well, guess what? No. I've been looking into that stuff since early 2000s, and I mean literally like after 9/11. Big 9 event, as the guy I watch says. The big 9 event. That's after, that did make me looking at Schmalik Schmones because it was so crazy when it happened. I still have questions about it, but I definitely wouldn't get to the level of doing anything or even thinking that, some people go to the whole thing of like, no one actually died. That was all fake. Or like the whole flat earth theory. Why, it's just stupid. But really, I mean, look, I guess wondering about stuff like that, it's like, all right, I guess I can see why you'd entertain theories. And that's all it is. I mean, most of the time, 99% of the time, unless somebody already has what they say a screw loose. Unless you have a screw loose, you're going to be able to look at things and not take up arms and do something. I mean, they act like everybody that went to the January 6th thing was planning on going into the Capitol and doing something. No, they weren't. A lot of them just went in because they saw other people go in. The people that really did do something got prosecuted, even though they did stupid shit that didn't really, Anyway, so enough with this whole, like, oh, if you look into something, it's going to lead to you doing something. That's the same thing as stochastic terrorism, which is the same thing as parents saying that if you listen to heavy metal, you're going to become like the Dark Lord is going to take control of you or something. Or you're going to go off people, unalive your friends, You're going to become the Antichrist, guys. You're going to become the
Dark Lord. Yeah, keep listening to Kiss. Keep listening to Black Sabbath. Oh, you think you're just listening to a song? Well, guess what, kid? I put backwards masking in there, and I told you to kill your fucking parents. Unalive them. Your parents really should be gone. Then you can eat all the ice cream you want. You think you're listening to Black Sabbath? Well, it is a really Black Sabbath because, it's the Dark Lord isn't there.
So I guess one other story I will cover is the big one everybody's talking about lately, guys. Did you hear about this, folks? Did you hear about this? You hear about this, folks? Everybody wants me to talk about it. Everybody wants me to talk about it. Oh, that's interesting. Ooh, here we go. All right, this is pretty interesting now. Dylan Mulvaney, trans activist Dylan Mulvaney. You know what? I gotta say something here. I'm gonna say it. Why is Dylan the name still? I guess a girl can have the name Dylan, but if he wants to be, look, I'm done with the whole like I can't call him a guy anymore because this is like the least passing. This is horrible. I saw this clip of this lady, Bud Light VP talks pivoting from brand's fratty, out of touch humor. I don't even remember the last Bud Light. Like, when is the last Bud Light big commercial with fratty humor in it? Like, that didn't even happen, I didn't even want to, like, I'm sick of hearing about this already, but it is really ridiculous. Like, trans influencer who didn't change their name, Dylan Mulvaney, who comes off like, I mean, look, I understand why people say he's mocking women because that is what it looks like is going on. I mean, that's how he's acting. Like, Dylan's acting like a fake parody of a woman or even a parody of a trans person. I mean, it is really over the top and annoying. Are you not allowed to say that, like, Dylan Mulvaney is annoying as hell? I mean, I hate also just any influencer, but it says, like, Dylan Mulvaney is a partner with Bud Light, but to me, that wasn't very clear. I didn't know if this was official or not because it's just like, oh, God, I got to play this video. It's so terrible.
I think, number one, I'm a businesswoman. I had a really clear job to do when I took.
Yeah. I'm a businesswoman. I'm a fucking businesswoman. You don't just say you're a businesswoman. You have to say,
I'm a fucking businesswoman, okay? Okay.
Over Bud Light, and it was This brand is in decline. It's been in decline for a really long time.
How?
Does anybody think that? Did anybody talk? I never heard of Bud Light's in decline, ever. Everybody's still buying it. If that's in decline, then Miller Lite's in decline. Everything is. And, yeah, beers are switching over to seltzers now because everybody drinks those. But, like, I don't... How is it is that even true? I want to do a fact check on that. I'm doing my own fact check on that, guys. Well, now only that stupid thing is going to come up. Like, now it's like, all right, you know what? I'm going to search from past year. All right, custom range. You guys probably don't even know how to do an advanced Google search like this, even though it's not Google. Start date. I don't know. Any year ever? Oh wait, I'll just do an end date. Here we go. I'll do January 2000. This is doing investigative reporting, guys. Okay? You think you're just Maybe it is then. I don't know. Anheuser-Busch. This is. Oh, that's interesting. Maybe 9 beers Americans no longer drink. 2013. Beer is not. Oh, this was 2013. So this is just beer in general, though. Maybe Anheuser-Busch turns the line extensions to boost Bud Light sales. Okay, maybe it's true then. This is from 2018. It had a prolonged sales swoon. And then they made Bud Light Lime and Bud Light Lime Orange. I remember those. And people did like... I thought people liked the... Yeah, Bud Light Golden Wheat was discontinued, but I thought that was popular back when it was out. It was basically like a Blue Moon type of flavor. So maybe she was right. Maybe it was a bit in decline, but she made it sound like nobody drinks it, I guess.
And if we do not attract...
You know, she has like kids drawings in her wall, so you know she's like fierce and fucking awesome.
Young drinkers to come and drink this brand, there will be no future for Bud Light.
Maybe
So
she
I have
does.
this super clear mandate. It's like we need to evolve and elevate this incredibly iconic brand. And my
Yes.
brought to that was a
Yes.
in okay, what does evolve and elevate mean? It means inclusivity.
Yes.
It means shifting the
Yes.
tone.
Obviously.
It means having a campaign that's
Yes.
truly
Yeah.
inclusive.
Oh, I hate how they...
I hate it. I hate how they do a fake smile. Well, look, I just hate all business speak anyway. But I just hate this shit. Women are more annoying with it because guys don't do that fake smile all the time.
Like, we do this, and we... And I knew that we needed to, like, reinvent. Like, yeah. And I use my hands more than I need to, and I just, like, pretend I'm jerking someone off, and I'm like... There we go,
It
yes.
feels lighter and brighter and different and appeals to women and to men.
Yes.
And representation is its
You're
sort
not
of
gonna
part of
make...
evolution. You've got to see people who reflect you in the world.
Oh my god, I hate that shit. It's bullshit.
Bud Light had been kind of a brand of...
Ugh, she's ugly. You don't need to see your exact copy of yourself to know to... Would you... What person is that stupid? And, like, seriously. Maybe a little kid? I don't even want to talk about this Dalai Lama story that I heard about today. Oh, so it says... Somebody said, oh, the Bud Light brand is on the wane, but it remains the flagship beer of Anheuser-Busch. So that doesn't sound like it was so in decline. Who the hell, like, I mean, seriously, why would you... Like, I need to see exactly me. Or I just don't use the product. Like, I need to see a white, straight guy. That would be, like, what I would need to see. And you don't need to know, you would think you don't even need to know the sexuality of somebody, but now you do. They always say it. I don't know. So that was this is fucking awful, this lady. You really, like, you're not going to get women to be, like, loving Bud Light. Like, I just don't think that's ever going to happen. Period.
Catty, kind of out of touch humor, and it was really important that we had another approach. So
Yes.
anyway, listen, I'm not going to pretend that there isn't so much more work to do.
Oh my God, there we go. Oh, there's always more work to do. If you guys were wondering if you guys were sitting there wondering, like, is there more work to be done? The answer is
yes. The answer is yes. 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 We are doing the work, and we are pushing ourselves forward to be inclusive and, like, really, like, just squeeze the balls of the industry and just, like, yes. I mean, like, we really were just like, ugh. Enough of this Dalai Lama, fucking disgusting piece of shit. Fuck the Dalai Lama, guys, okay? Okay? We had, like, a frat boy humor that was just so out of date and, like, it was in decline for a really long time. We needed someone to see it. There has to be more work to be done, okay? Like, yeah, we are doing the work, and we are, like, really working hard, but, like, there is still more work to be done. There's never not more work. There is never not more work to be done.
From a business results perspective, and of course from a representation perspective, but I feel like you have to put your money where your mouth is when you're trying to evolve a brand and elevate it and bring in new consumers. So that's been incredibly important to me.
I'm like such a fucking woman. I'm such a girl. That's the thing too with this.
with Dylan is like, you know, I mean, oh God, that lady's horrible. Oh my God, I have a hangover from her listening to her. You know what I mean? Yeah, we just like had a lot of work. We had more work to be done. We like really had to do that, and then the host is like, yes. The work has always to be done, and we always need to do the work. The work is like never ending, okay? Looks like she's like a pioneer woman. You know, back when women had no like ability to use any kind of any makeup at all. Like I don't actually really like makeup on, but you know, I don't know. Man, it's fucking awful. Light beer like that sucks. God, it's bad. I mean, like, I don't, like, who would miss it, you know? Like, so what if it takes a hit? And, anyway, guys, hold on. In more news, Anheuser-Busch distributors in the South are spooked by backlash to the Dylan Mulvaney Pact. Dylan was celebrating a year of girlhood. A year of girlhood, even though it's a grown adult. Yes! Oh my God. Like, I'm a businesswoman, and like, as a business, like, shut up. Stop saying as a blank all the time. Bud Light causing fights inside Kentucky bar. Why? Oh, somebody got Bud Light at his bar and then they had a verbal argument. Oh my god. Yeah, I agree. He's pretending to be a girl, not a woman. I mean, it's fucking weird. It's weird. So he took it off his menu, I guess. Like, I don't know. What are you, gay? Don Lemon belittles Jon Stewart on hot mic. Oh my god, this guy is gonna get fired. Definitely gonna get fired. Don Lemon, everybody. Don Lemon like pretends to be like he's criticizing the establishment type of guy. He like pretends to do that sometimes now, but he really is one of them. So he said, why is the DOD's $850 billion is an extreme waste? I can't figure how it needs that much money. But the rank and file still have to be on food stamps. To me, that's effing corruption. Okay, so Don Lemon didn't like that comment by Jon Stewart, and he said, unbeknownst to his live mic, Lemon belittled Stewart as just a comedian. He gets a lot of leeway with the comedian thing. And then he panicked frantically after hearing his comment aired over the broadcast. He quickly backtracked. We were just discussing that Jon Stewart is so much more than a comedian. That's what we're doing. He is a thought leader. You know what who's doing? Look. Yeah, when I was saying comedian television host, he's so much more than that. I don't know. I don't know if you need to qualify him as that, but good interview there. God. You know why he was doing that? Because he didn't like him criticizing the DOD. Don Lemon has to defend the DOD like they need Don Lemon to defend them. Jon Stewart, he gets a lot of leeway, don't you think? Like, to be able to criticize the DOD. We shouldn't allow that to happen, okay? Like, how do these people not realize they want they want a country where we can't, like, we're not allowed to say something is corrupt in our government. That's what he wants. That's what he was mad at. That's why he said he gets a lot of leeway with the comedian. That wasn't even a joke Jon Stewart made. I mean, I don't really get... Like, Jon Stewart should just double down and be like that. If he's going to act like he's edgy, but he's not. He's not at all. He would fucking... I mean, Jon Stewart did the whole, like, he commented about the lab leak saying, obviously it was a lab leak, but then he went back and, I don't know if he apologized or something, but then he was, like, talking about how he was shocked at the backlash. I mean, dude, become a real comedian or a real, like, authentic person. Quit relying on the establishment all the time. I mean, you had a huge success with The Daily Show. Why do you have to keep cucking out to the establishment? Like, oh, I'm going to say the DOD's corrupt now, but then tomorrow, I'll probably say Biden's great or something. Like, I don't know. All right, so I was hoping for more interesting stuff about Bud Light to see what the backlash is. Theo Von is confused by Dylan Mulvaney. Theo Von confused by Dylan Mulvaney. I'm confused by that, dog. Oh, fuck, never mind. This is a 2-hour-long vid. It said it was a few minutes long. Oh, this one?
Bud Light is getting a lot of heat right now. I don't know if you've heard this. They did a collaboration with a trans activist.
A pact.
Okay.
Dylan Mulvaney.
Trans activist makes it sound like they're not trans themselves, though. It sounds like it's just an activist. I'm confused, dog.
And I think people were wondering if this was fake or real. It is real.
Yep.
And Bud Light said that helps.
Will I get a notice, a copyright thing about this? I don't know. I might just play like a second.
unless maybe they know something that we don't. Maybe they're trying to like
yeah.
to think if there's bigger powers out there that are influencing like
Yeah, there is.
they want more confrontative type stuff. You know, I just don't understand the connection. Like, unless you want, I don't know if Bud Light drink. I just don't know if I'm a Bud Light, if I'm a beer, if I want to get something that's making me discuss like a topic that's argumentative.
Yeah, I'd venture to say most of their clients aren't interested.
I know.
Right, that's what they. Yeah, it's like it's
ESG,
almost that, like,
dude.
thing where it's like, why do you put it? If it's something, just let it be something. Why does it have to be something that you use as a tool for marketing all the time?
I think they're just trying to get in the trans market.
You think so? How
Why
much?
not?
How many trans people are there?
10. Oh, he's looking it up.
Okay, this is a UCLA study.
I mean, God, this is like, it's impossible to even answer that question. You know, listen to me just like commenting on somebody's podcast, like answering what he's saying. Well, let me answer that question for you, Theo Vaughn. How many trans people are there? Well, why does there have to be a limit on that? You know, like why?
Do we have to quantify the amount? Like, what we don't always know. Like, kids don't always know if they have. Like, they might not be comfortable with saying it yet, but we don't count them yet, do we? And who's doing this study? Like, is it a right-wing think tank? You know, who is asking the question? What does it mean to be trans? Like, what do you mean by trans? You don't have to be so narrow in your definition, okay? Maybe you do some research before even asking it, because you do not have the authority to speak on this, okay? I'll let you go with your hate.
From June 2022.
Oh. Nearly
Nearly 1 in 5 people who identify as transgender are 13 to 17 years old. Oh, that's weird. The percentage of adults who identify has remained steady over time. So obviously, I don't know. Think what you want to think. Who cares?
Nearly 1 in 5 people who identify as trans 13 and up identify.
Yep. That's fucking crazy.
You know, the 1.6 million people ages 13 and up identify as transgender, and I guess, and that's what does it mean, identify? You know?
Yeah.
Do you think trans people drink Bud Light?
No.
Oh, I bet. I bet after you go home and you take off the lashes, and then it's like, oh, Ron, what a fucking day over there outside of Claire's boutique. You know, what a day, what a fucking day over there outside of the courthouse. My God. These heels are killing me, huh? Let me put my Crocs back on and light up a Marlboro Red. I think, yeah, I think for sure, dude, after you go home, fucking definitely want a cold one. Yeah. That they don't know how they feel genetically, or more people saying, I want another wiener or no vagina. What are they saying?
Yeah, they probably just want to lose the.
Like, this is all like subject. Like, no one has the answer. Like, even a, you know, even a research think tank wouldn't have an answer, like real answer. It would just be like, well, what do you define that is? What is it?
really? I mean, who's to say what someone's trans is to someone else's trans, okay? Or what if you're, like, non-binary? That's not trans, but it's also not the binary, okay? Like, we don't have to have these, like, little boxes. You want to, like, take quotas? Like, what are you, Nazi Germany? You want to have quotas on everything? Why would you want to do it? You want to have quotas on everything? Look, I'm going to start wearing sunglasses like that, okay? Every episode.
I always wonder when I see comedians wearing sunglasses, how, like, they got to be high or something. Like, you're indoors. Unless he's, I don't know. It's this thing now or something. Yo, dude. You know what I think it is? It's more like people would drink Bud Light, but no one's going out. No one's going out for Bud Light anymore. That's why they have all those new, like, who goes out and is like, oh, well, unless that's your go-to light beer, I guess, but, like, I don't know, like, even for light beers, like, it's really nothing. I don't know, like, what's the point? Like, Coors Light and Bud Light, like, close your eyes and take a sip of each one. Which one is going to be? Or Miller Lite versus Bud Light. Like, what's the difference? Just switch. I mean, they might be owned by this. I don't know. That's what sucks. You try to boycott a brand and it owns everything else. So, y'all know what I'm saying. Y'all know what I'm saying. Y'all know what I'm saying. I'm Southern like the old Vaughn now. I don't get the trans shit. Yeah. Well, yeah, he was just going at it from kind of common sense. Like, why would you take on that divisive issue? Well, because they decide to hire women like the one I just played. That's why they decide to go get ESG money. I just heard about one earlier. CEI or something like that, like. And it's like ESG. I don't know. I have to look it up again sometime. But man, that lady was fucking awful. If you have that lady in an interview, you know she's gonna do stuff like this because of the way she talks. Like, I worship trans people, and I just like I do things where like I smile when I shouldn't smile. Like AOC does that a lot too. She does a lot of hand gestures, a lot of smiling when there's nothing to smile about. You know what I'm saying? He was just for real, bro. Like, for real, bro. Stay tuned for my sunglasses. When I go do this shit, yo. Anyway, get the new Dylan can, everyone. Or you're a bigot. If you don't drink it, you don't drink it. If you don't fuck a Dylan lookalike, you're a bigot. Piece of shit. Fascist, Nazi. Confederate flag having Nazi. Okay. And yes, she's like, so what if Dylan identifies as a little girl? Okay, so what? That's not weird. It's not weird now because it's the thing now. So it's not weird. You're a bigot for one. Go drink it. Piss. And savor every sip. Okay, bigot. Do the right thing.
Drink the Bud Light. Embrace diversity. Don't be a hick piece of shit bigot. Just embrace. Progress. You have to progress.